Division S, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get ready to rumble. Nothing left against Divine Vendetta. Another best of 5. And we're starting today with Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now, when you're looking at the player names here, the one thing that you might be wondering is, like, who exactly is that captain on the side of Nothing Left? That's an alternate account of Kidney, so Nothing Left is currently here with the entire lineup. But it could be that during this series they will have to swap out one of their players for a sub-player. So that was already discussed with the admins. Apparently there's a chance that one of the players is getting called away at some point. For now, though, they play with the entire lineup. And they're going up against Divine Vendetta, as we're having bans on Garrosh and on Ana, and even Kerrigan getting banned out. Nothing Left, a bit aggressive here with Kidney's playstyle. And there's a Sylvanas first pick. Good old Sylvanas. She's starting to make a lot of waves here. Gets picked a lot more in China, and you can bet your ass on Nothing Left and the other players in Division S definitely having a bit of a glimpse over to what's happening in the Chinese Gold League tournament as well. So, yeah, Sylvanas finds more value these days. But a first pick on Tomb, whew, didn't really see that one coming. Expected, if anything, her to be picked a little bit later here. But there's Malfurion, and there is Hanzo. I like to play with that quite a lot. Okay, so let's have a look over to Nothing Left and what they're going to do. Now that we have Sylvanas in the game, I'm honestly a bit curious. And I'm a bit curious also if you're going to see that Rexa again that is making his way just into nearly every single game these days. Tyrande picked. And we also have now Imperius, which can still be played on the offlane or on the main tank role, depending a whole lot on how they're trying to structure the entire team right now. But Imperius is definitely flexible enough to run both of those situations. So as our best of 5 comes up here, has the Tracer ban. No Tracer for DAB. If DAB wants his Tracer, he has to commit to it a lot earlier than that. I think he learned that lesson now already. Nobody wants Dia to go up against DAB's Tracer. Nothing Left then again. They can definitely still ban something out here. And with that, I mean, already you're looking at tanks, and that's Johanna. Added wave clear from her, gets banned out, so that definitely works. I could have seen them, honestly, with also, let's say, a ban against Diablo, and Nubarak is still open too, and with Malfurion you can go into an aggressive style. So there's definitely arguments to be made for banning out either one of those, but Johanna, of course, adds a lot onto the Spider Queen. I mean, she is a very, very solid choice here, and has been played a lot as well by Divine Vendetta. So there's the Dibbles pick, though, and Zeratul with it. So Diablo, Zeratul now taken, which means Apocalypse and Void Prison are going to become a part of this. There's the Dune. Oh, Schall Swiffer. Wrong skin, my friend. Yeah, so Leo making his way in, and we're still needing a little bit more damage on the side of Nothing Left. That's definitely not enough just yet. Ah, there we go with the skin. I'm not really quite happy with the tint there, but at least the skin is okay. It's not a Leoric, it's not the Ice Giant or the Janitor, but I'll take it for now. Liming gets picked. DAB can get the reset value now, especially, of course, after lockdowns through Imperius and Tyrande, for example. And Divine Vendetta. How are they going to try to deal with that? Are we actually going to see the Jaina commitment now? Go for the full combo. Diablo, Zeratul, and Jaina on top of that for all the burst. Or something along the lines of with Thrall making his way in. Alright, the stage is set. Tomb of the Spider Queen, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 in the best of 5 in Division S. Game on, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing Left against Divine Vendetta. Tomb of the Spider Queen. And on the left, it's Boss on Imperius. DAB on Li Ming. Zadoon on Leoric. We have Linked on Tyrande. And Kidney on his alternate account playing Sylvanas. On the right side of the map, Death Knight on Diablo. We're currently having Divine Vendetta with Smaragd on Hanzo. Slake on Zeratul again. Martin on Malfurion. And Born with the Echo of Elements is playing Thrall in the game. Alright, time to shine. Let's see how much Sylph can do. I mean, they picked her as the first pick even. So it's going to be a little bit important for her priority later on to see where she ends up with that. It's kind of interesting, actually, that everybody on the side is going for the Love Cloud, and the only one that has a Sad Cloud is Linked. I mean, at this point, you ask yourself, is Linked is the one getting bullied or Nothing Left the entire time, and what exactly the thoughts behind those particular mount choices are. A lot of mount synergy here, at least for 4 of the players. Austin's renewal on level 1 for Leo, rotating down to the bottom of the map to deal with Thrall, of course. Whereas we're having Smaragd already poking there in the middle. And DAB is actually starting to home in onto the towers there. Catches out most of the damage. Death Knight with the attempt. That gets stunned out. Ooh, Slake needs to be careful too. So definitely very brawly. And oh, the kill, DAB. Yeah. You can't give him an opening like this. You give him an opening like that and you take him down. So in the meantime, already the push here in the middle. I mean, Nothing Left is definitely one of the strongest teams here for sure. I mean, again, these guys have been all playing HGC in the past. So obviously these days also a big question, how much heroes do you still commit to? How much do you play in Storm League or anywhere else? And a lot of the guys obviously now focusing heavily on streaming too. But it's all coming down to the practice. The times where you would scrim every single day for 6 to 8 hours or even more are definitely over. So that influences the level of play, and that influences also over time how you can perform in these leagues. But definitely there is a lot to be said for Nothing Left having a massive advantage heading into this series just because they have the experience to go for it. So with this being done, we're having at the bottom of the map still a little bit of a battle between Born and Podibos. Born usually doing pretty well on his solo lanes, but right now Podibos is definitely rocking this here. The teams are both going straight for the bruiser camp, so we're going to see the bruiser camps go up against each other. Normally you also pay a lot of attention down to the siege giant camp to make sure that that isn't being sneaked by your opponent. DAB is already taking care of that as we have the push in the middle, and obviously if you're Divine Vendetta you need to be a little bit careful here because you can still have that value from Sylvanas used against you to burn down the waves, to burn down a couple of the structures and take those down easy peasy. Dibbles pushes in. The spell shield though was a good one. Nice connect also with Broccoli against Sylvanas here, but in the meantime the siege giants have been claimed at the bottom of the map. So that worked out quite nicely for Nothing Left, and they're able to get some more value in. DAB is just continuously poking now against the structures here. Continuously doing damage, and he actually with the help of the siege giants destroys the first tower now right away. When it comes to the talent choices, still the dagger focused onto by Sylvanas. Stacks only 8 currently on the Unfurling Shadows, but when we're talking about the rest of the team, doesn't really look that insane either. I mean, right now Thrall hasn't completed his level 1 quest yet. We're still having the turn-in attempts here. And actually, there's 13 turned in. Alright, the little delay on the Singularity Spike definitely allowing the turn-in to happen. Bot lane is still getting pressure, and as you can tell here, DAB is currently just murdering this, doing really good work there, and is now starting also the rotation straight into the middle. Okay, same time now, we're having once again Podibos doing his thing here, and Death Knight rotating over. I mean, keep in mind that the Dune is actually, with 20 gems now in a position where he can't lose those. It's also an interesting lineup for them. I mean, we've been talking a lot about, especially of course, good attempt against Born, but he already moved away. But he's losing the bot lane heavily, since he's oftentimes outmatched here. So we have a bit of an interesting setup here with Imperius and with Leo. Now, we've talked a lot about Imperius and him being in a position where he can be main tank or off tank, which is definitely the case. The interesting part in this is that they're actually having the offlaner play Imperius and the main tank is playing Leo. So while this is still a team composition that definitely works out, it's interesting that they didn't switch those heroes over. Nice damage, by the way, against Diablo. So that already gives a few more stacks. So it definitely makes this entire lineup a little bit more fluid in the way that they can play it here. Talking about fluid, Sylvanas already jumping out there, straight onto the wave. But you could see that the stuns are definitely gaining a lot of value there. Leo still with the turn-in attempt, over and over again. And as long as he has this many hit points and has the Wraith Walk active, he can always move away from it. But with 30 gems already turned in, you can definitely tell that Nothing Left is currently the team that is threatening turn-in number 1. 23 stacks for Sylvanas. Podibos with another lunge gets a bit more damage in. He's definitely starting to just threaten Thrall over and over again. And thanks to his own self-sustain, of course, with the Holy Favor here as the Cleave and then the Battle Hunger. Yeah, they are able to get the turn-in. And now they're able to get a little bit more damage onto Born. There's no level 10 just yet that DAB can use, but he's definitely able to connect another combo with Born, and Thrall is starting to drop low again. Sylvanas is still attempting to stack, so Blakitney is currently doing well on that front, and also straight into the festering wounds as the wave. So that's going to help him if he starts to play aggressive around it. And this is really the moment when you're trying to get value. Obviously, you can push with Sylvanas here, but just having the damage output alone is already helping. And since they open up the mat at the bot lane early on, that is now an easy peasy time to get the first fort. So from Nothing Left's perspective, this is actually fantastic. This is going to give them a lot of control over the map. Still seeing the pressure up to the top though. Linked is low, and Linked actually goes down, and that's gems lost again, because guess what? There's no one else here. There's no one else on that lane. Zadoon is still able to take structures down as he goes up against Slake, but the bot lane has now successfully been claimed, the fort at least it is, and that Web Weaver is going to start to do a bit more damage against the wall itself. Obviously, Nothing Left is now shifting their attention towards the middle of the map, trying to at least break through the wall here. 87 stacks now on Diablo as he's trying to get the additional souls. But it's going to lead into an earlier level 10 for Nothing Left, and that is going to help them maybe even to go for a quick engage here. It's a bit of a question what we're actually seeing from Podipos. Is he going Wrath or Armament? With Tyrande, you can definitely play the delivery boy and get the target into the back line, and that's what they're doing. Playing with Wrath and trying to make sure that, of course, Tyrande is then stacking up the second stun, and they can get the kill behind this. Especially with the Wailing Arrow and also the Entomb that they have now in their lineup. It's a lot of tools there. DAB still gets the value, connects the combo one after another, gets the cam at the bottom, and that's the second time that he's just taken the Siege Giants for his team. Obviously with level 10 abilities in their hands, Divine Vendetta wants to turn in as well. They need to be very, very careful here with Slake. Ooh, if Podibos connects that, that might be the end of him. Podibos himself is in trouble though. There comes the arrow again, and Podibos is still alive. There's the Entomb against Malf, and the arrow. Malf actually surviving through this, as the Void Prison gets even used to allow that combo with Apocalypse, and it's a kill. It's a kill against Imperius. The problem is that Death Knight might also fall. Oh, he actually survives this. And they get the second kill against Tyrande. 3 kills against 1. Still Sylvanas moving away from this. Eats a few more arrows from Hanzo. But that's of course now opening the map up wide for Divine Vendetta to get their turn in. Smaragd is already trying to deliver 14. Slake will have to round that up to 50. But they are definitely in a position where they could get the double turn in if they wanted to. There's the setup, and the Red Web Weavers are going to come down. There's an attempt to just interrupt that, but not quite working out. Sylph is sitting at 50 stacks, 8 minutes into the game. Trying to try and get a lot out of this one, obviously. But yeah, things are definitely... Oh, that was a bit of an odd one. Zadoon with the Entomb there, huh? That was a bit of a no-value button. Fat finger that. Pierce is already busy in the middle of the map here, trying to take this one down. The bot lane is not really too much of an issue just yet. They have a lot of time there. That Web Weaver is going to need a while until it really arrives at the structures, so they can just rotate from the middle straight to the top and take that one out. Obviously, if you are Divine Vendetta, you want to get some value out of it, and in an ideal world, that means you want to get a counter for it. You already lost all one by yourself, so it would be good if you can get something done out of this. At the same time now, you have to be careful because that Entomb is back up. So that would work. Down at the bottom of the map, here comes the push, and this one has to be dealt with. But as you can tell, Divine Vendetta, outside of them setting up a combo right now, with Hanzo Arrow into Apocalypse or Void Prison into the same, it's very unlikely that we're going to see anything really done by them. That entire Web Weaver wave hasn't given them as much value as they probably thought it would. They still have a second turn in that they can go for, so does Nothing Left though. That's the biggest problem that they have. There's a double connect, the stun follow-up, and the delivery system straight into... Nice! Full force into the Void Prison. Smaragd with the arrow, but that didn't work out either. That wasn't released. Sundering, on the other hand, hitting 3. They're going for Diablo again. The problem is there's no follow-up, and after this entire brawl, after pretty much everybody, with the exception of Dibbles using his ult, we're just engaging without a single kill. But I've so far not seen the Imperius delivery system into a Void Prison. That's a new one for sure. I mean, there's nowhere else to go for him, so that just coincided at the same time, so it was a little bit weird. But yeah, down here, Web Weavers have now been committed to again, so the blue Web Weavers are descending once more. Level 13 talents are ready for both teams at this point in time, which actually brings us again into the Shroud of Adun on 13. Having besides that now also a bit more of a wave focus with Sylvanas going for the Windrunner. And this is actually pretty nice. I mean, it was actually, like, I don't really think that the silence against Zeratul was even intended, but it really helped to make Hanzo's arrow a little bit impactful than he was intending to. Could have still hit the backline there. That was nicely dodged too. Oh, that's an issue. 32 gems, baby. And yeah, he should be down, but the Apocalypse is actually spot on, and they keep Death Knight alive. Impressive. Death Knight survives through that, and that's really good for them. With 32 gems, that would have been a disaster. Now, it's obviously problematic that we're now... Oh my god, that would be worse. Oh, 46! Jumps in, jumps out, and Slake dies. Wow, that's 46 gems lost. They just murdered him, and that was the ticket back into the game for Divine Vendetta. They're even going for the boss right away. They know that Apocalypse is down too. Oh my god, that is rough. That is really rough. Now the red team has enough gems to still turn in, so they might just trade that for the boss, but oh boy, that is tough going there. Gems are gone, the boss is taken, Thrall is going to complete the turn-in. So yep, it is going to be a boss against the turn-in. So free defense pretty much for nothing left. Whereas Divine Vendetta gets an easy defense against the boss. It's obviously not going to change the fact that the boss is still going to take the fort at the top lane. But yeah, that was a bit of a brutal one. 44 gems. That hurts. That hurts a lot. And I mean, it was a good rotation. And let's not forget that another thing is that all of the forts are down now. Every single fort has been eliminated at this point on the side of Divine Vendetta, so they're definitely behind. It's only half a level in experience, but it's definitely playing a role here. Okay, so they move from the bot lane straight into the middle. Take another one down. 3 kills against 2 so far. If you have a quick look at this, 28,000 damage on the side of Li Ming. Hanzo topping the charts for Divine Vendetta. And the rotation towards the top to take this one out too. Yeah, so one after another, the lanes are getting defended here. And if you then look at the gem count, we're still having... I mean, it's not quite a turn-in on the side of nothing left, but it is going to be close. So 15 are missing. They're already starting to gather those with DAB. We're still having both of the teams with boozer camps ready on the map, and both of them are already starting to commit to that too. Nothing left is making the move on the left side now as well. 68 stacks for Sylvanas, heading on level 16 to the life drain. Talking camps. DAB is still at the bot lane here as well. This is like the 3rd or 4th time actually that he takes the siege turns. And that is going to pressure the bot lane significantly, with everybody currently stuck from Divine Vendetta at the top lane. I'm honestly wondering if they're going to take damage at the bottom. Because Li Ming, knowing that, is actually pushing out an additional wave. It's not going to go for the last one, but that's putting a little bit of a timer on the setup. And they nearly have enough gems to go for another turn in. I mean, DAB alone has 27. Could have already turned in at this point, but didn't. 16 on both sides now. Void Slash. Void Slash is in. And we're seeing, despite the fact that they didn't go into Frost Wolf Pack, also the Alpha Wolf now. Here's the arrow. Gets completely dodged as the main fight starts up with the Apocalypse and Mal for the ult. But uh-oh. There's the Thrall delivery straight into the hands of the rest of the team. Born gets the Sundering out though. Apparently Tyrande didn't have the stun ready. Slake is in trouble, and that's another 15 lost for him. And they're starting to make the play now for Diablo too. He doesn't have a lot of gems, but he's definitely not going to survive through this one. Once again, where we another connect as Imperius goes for Born, and I think this time even Thrall might fall. On the right side, it was an attempt to go straight for another kill. Of course, more and more stacks coming together now on Tyrande too. Oh, sorry, on Sylvanas, as she's on 71. Gems are all lost. And keep in mind, what did I say about that cap at the bot lane? Yep, it's going to get some value. And that value is manifesting itself in an entire keep that is about to fall here. Yeah, that keep is down. That's a goner, and that's another turn in. That's also 2 levels ahead with 5 kills against 3. 1 keep already eliminated. And they can just simply go for the turn in at this point. 16 stacks on Malfurion for Broccoli. So he's getting 12,000 damage out, nearly the same damage output that Diablo currently has. 35k on Li Ming with a reset value. It's tough, but also look at the damage output that we're seeing from Imperius. 24,000. I mean, that's as much as Zeratul has on the other side. Imperius always with a lot of damage that he has there. So, yep. Let's have another quick look at that mid lane. Alright. It's another keep that is very likely to fall now. I would be shocked if they can't be able to drop this one out. Li Ming is still pushing out the bot lane, so she's currently attempting to make sure that they're having a pressure play against the keep itself. Sorry, the core itself. So there has to be a follow-up. That didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, Smaragd did connect the hit, but now he's likely to fall. And even if he doesn't, that particular cooldown didn't do a whole lot. There's the Apocalypse Stone. That at least connects, and that's a dead Sylvanas. Sylvanas is down, and they get the second kill against Imperius. So all of a sudden, we have the defense ready. Martin is about to fall at least. Ooh, no, kept alive by the Void Prison. Martin gets out, only Thrall falling, and the keep in the mid lane is still in play. Keep at the top lane, yes, might be suffering a bit of damage, but honestly, Divine Vendetta has currently defended way better than I expected them to. The keep is halfway down, but it's not destroyed, and at the top lane it might have taken some damage, but it's far from falling. So after all is said and done, we still have only one keep eliminated, and that is not too bad. In terms of gems, there's also not really a whole lot that Nothing Left is currently still holding on to. They have 17 already that they could turn in, but that's going to take them a while to get more. So yeah, well done. I love how especially the Void Prison saved Malf. I mean, Malf was about to fall. He was so low, and we saw Leoric just move in with a Wraith Walk, but then his original position gets Void Prison, is hitting actually 2, and so he can't move in any further, and that allows Martin just to move away, tap the fountain, and just save himself there. So that was quite something. Honestly, I don't ever think I've ever seen that particular interaction in this exact way. But now we have, with 20 talents, the boss taken. Dibbles is going to check that out, but look how far Zeratul is away on the map. Zeratul is far out. They're risking the play here. Zeratul is now starting to come in. Slake is there, but the boss is nearly taken. If they can home in on that, and they do, they will take it. There's the arrow, again, not connecting, and they're buried alive. And DAB with a kill. They get 1, they're looking for 2. Apocalypse with a double connect, but Malfurion is already down. Void Prison in the back. They try to make another play there, but that's a dead Diablo, and Smaragd might fall as well. Saves himself for now. Here comes the launch though, and the kill as we have Zeratul also taken out top. All of the gems lost. Boss already on the core. The move into the middle where they can drop another one. And this, ladies and gentlemen, should also be the end of the game right here, as we have nothing left with the value plays. 52,000 damage now on DAB's Li Ming, 58k for Hanzo. Great game here, 4-0 left on Tomb of the Spider Queen as they're going for the core. 11 kills against 5 in total at the end of the game, and we are going to see the lead in the best of 5 series here at Division S for Nothing Left as they win game number 1. GG, well played. Game number 2, Battlefield of Eternity, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing left in the lead against Divine Vendetta here in Division S. And yeah, first game, definitely solid team fights there. Nothing Left multiple times was able to take down heroes that had 30 to 40 gems, and obviously at some point that just denies your comeback into the game when you're playing on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So now Divine Vendetta has to come up with a bit of a new strategy and check that out. Have a look at how this is going to work out for them, but they have first pick first ban, so they went into first pick first ban. As the losing team, they can make the choice, and Nothing Left decided in favor of Battlefield of Eternity. So a very brawly map for them now as we are heading into our second map in the best of 5. Insta Tracer ban, insta. No Tracer for DAB anytime soon. Now this is still a map where we would expect Tyrande to be played a lot, Hanzo, just for the objective. You name it. I mean, we've even seen a couple of double support Vala in other Division S matches, especially when Washed Up is playing. They love to push JPL onto Vala on maps where the double support really makes a whole lot of sense for them. And of course, there's a lot of other heroes that are really strong on the Immortal. I mean, in China, for example, starts to play Greymane a lot more these days again. And Greymane is a beast on the Immortal, he always was. Has fallen out of meta very heavily in Europe, though. Divine Vendetta just full focusing here on DAB. Alright, he plays Tyrande, let's ban that. He plays Li Ming, let's ban that too. What else does he play? Yeah, they're just trying to ban DAB out as much as they can. If that's going to be working, that's a different story. But my F is up, and my F gets picked immediately. So Slake gets my F this time. The Zeratul didn't work out on the last map, but now we're going to see if my F is maybe a little bit better for them here. Double picks coming in for nothing left on the other hand. Let's see how they're gonna play this. With their captain playing as alternate account. Now again, it could be that someone on the side of nothing left has to leave later, as we said, and Blakitne goes for Sylvanas again. Zadoon on Tyrael this time, but yeah, it's apparently Sylvanas day. We've seen it in Gold League a couple of times, where Sylvanas just gets picked and picked and picked and picked. So she got value in the last game too. I mean, the arrow actually, the Wailing Arrow, the Silence, ruined the Void Prison plays a couple of times even, where Zeratul just couldn't do anything and couldn't release anything. So yeah, that worked out for them. Now we have a Nubarak and Tyrande also committed to by Divine Vendetta. Okay, so we're actually looking at a pretty aggressive setup for them. Maiev, a noob, Tyrande. Yeah, you kind of want to have a little bit of burst around that. And at least for the time being, nothing left is saying, okay, what we would really not like to go up against with this setup is an Arthas, of course, as well. Might already be a little bit of an indication that they are also thinking about potentially going for Greymane here. It's one of the heroes that Arthas is pretty good against because you just have that auto attack slowdown. Same is of course true for Illidan, but I don't really think that we're going to see nothing left go for Illidan here. That's mostly something that I could see in Gold League in China. But they're actually banning him out, alright. They're thinking Illidan too, and they won't put it past nothing left to play in Illidan here, so Illidan gets banned. The Chinese meta is taking over. Now I could still absolutely see Greymane committed to later on though. Keep in mind there's also Hammer to be named. The Sergeant is still in place. There's Zeratul and there's Greymane. Zeratul and Greymane. So we still have a potential combo even with Void Prison into Wailing Arrow. That would be way old school though. I mean, that's something that we have actually seen ages ago. When you try to just release the Void Prison as the arrow comes in and then you get the damage out, like the silence value out of it, and you immediately pounce on the target. That could be happening. Then again, Divine Vendetta, what are they gonna use now? Where's the damage? Junkrat. Junkrat? On Battlefield? Okay. Blaze is in. They get Junkrat too, not a mage, just there, but yeah. I mean, alrighty guys, Battlefield of Eternity, last pick. I would expect a support. Let's put it like that. Malf is still up, to name one. Rhaegar, of course, too. Linked was the OG, or one of the OG Rhaegar players. And it's Malfurion instead. Game number 2 in the best of 5 series here, Division S. Nothing left against Divine Vendetta. Let's get ready for Battlefield of Eternity. Game number 2. Nothing left, ladies and gentlemen, against Divine Vendetta. And on the left side, Podibos on Zeratul. We have Linked on Malfurion, Zadoon on Tyrael, DAB on Greymane, and Blakitne playing on his alternate account with Sylvanas again. On the right side of the map, Death Knight on Anubarak for Divine Vendetta. We have Martin on Tyrande for the follow-up stun. Born with the additional jet propulsion on Blaze. Slake on Maiev and Smaragd on Junkrat. It's a hyper-aggressive setup that they're running here, honestly. I mean, this entire CC train that they can field into the battle is pretty much insane. It's honestly insane at this point. But let's have a bit of a look at how this bot lane is going to work out. Zeratul obviously has to currently run the top lane. To an extent, you can play Greymane there, but Zeratul is, at least for now, the better choice. So, Blakitne had a pretty solid game on Sylvanas in game number 1 already. But yeah, it's pretty much China Day what we're seeing here when it comes to the picks. So now we're seeing them start to pressure through the bot lane, and I mean with Anubarak moving in, with Slake looking for the tether, with Tyrande and the follow-up stun. There is a lot that can be done right now on the side of the Divine Vendetta to get kills. DAB jumps out. Yeah, he's gonna have a tough game there. He needs to really be careful with the way that he plays his Greymane right now. He will rely in team fights later on in the game heavily onto the Sanctification and the setup. Obviously, for Blakitne, it's kind of important to try and get a couple of stacks together on his level 1, the Unfurling Shadows. He's currently sitting at 6. Through that first battle. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting setup. And now we're having at the bottom of the map, oh, we actually have Greymane rotating to the top to get the camp here. Okay, so trading a camp for a camp at this point. Born is even sniffing that out and sees that. Can't really do anything as long as we're seeing Zeratul still in there. So DAB is feeling fairly safe. Bot lane obviously taken. Vision is there too. So kind of everybody knows what they're up about. I mean, you have a 2 versus 1 at the top lane, so you're not going to really do too much there. And yeah, the early game, bit of a skirmish. I don't really expect too many kills to happen here. It seems like both of the teams are just absolutely fine with taking a camp on each side of the map. Death Knight jumping in pretty deep here on the other hand. And that might actually be a bit of an initiation for maybe a kill, not quite, but yeah. Zeratul is rotated down too, so he's currently sitting in the bush there, but as they realize they won't be able to force the fight anytime soon, at least not on a serious level, they're rotating Zeratul back up to make sure that he don't miss out on lane experience, which is highly important here. And this is honestly one of the things that you need to do when you're playing on a lower league. We've been casting quite a bit of Division 7 again to also just show people a few of the mistakes and how to avoid them. But one of the things that you can see on the minimap here every single time is that whenever a minion wave pushes into the towers, you have heroes moving onto that lane to soak the experience. Missing out on lane experience is a huge problem the lower you go in divisions and the lower you go also in just levels of play. And if you are very diligent about just moving heroes to soak those levels, you will over time get significant advantages, especially since you oftentimes end up with a talent advantage as an objective is spawning or as a team fight is unfolding in front of you. So both of the teams now, also with their camps taken. Death Knight is sitting on his Anubarak on the side and is looking for a flank, as Zeratul still plays around the top. But down here, we're having Sylvanas trying to find a little bit of value here. Sylv also talking about value, still able to get a couple of additional hits in, which means that we're now looking at 17 stacks for her. But also the entire wall damaged. And some of the towers nearly taken down. Wall damage is not only occurring at the bottom of the map, at the top we're seeing quite a bit of that happening too. Now Boss is trying to fight for the region globe. Still eating a bit of damage. Has to be very, very careful that there's no jet propulsion that connects, so he's going to be in trouble too. But, well, now once more, we're seeing Zeratul starting to rotate back in. Possession on Sylvanas. And by the way, now also the thick skin here. So this is actually something where we have seen multiple adjustments on Greymane in the past, but in this particular setup, you want to have the extra armor for sure. I mean, we talked a little bit of how much there is against Greymane, but you can see that they're actually not even using Greymane for the defense of the fight. Instead, Greymane is the one dishing out the damage. And his immortal pressure is insane as is. So yeah, he's hyper aggressive around that. Death Knight actually also went into the bed of barbs on level 4, so that gives them the added slow and a little bit more control over the slows, through the slows in the battlefield. Having again the rotation was right. Martin is really low. Martin is completely out of position and gets taken down as Zeratul jumps in. Now they just pounced on him. They saw him on the map and they immediately went for it. And they're not stopping there. They're actually trying to get a bit more too. Slake is jumping out here. Dune is in. Is there going to be a tether connecting? Yep, against the Dune, but Tyrael is still absolutely fine as they go in for kill number 2. I want kill number 3, and they get it as well. Zeratul dropping Maiev and dropping also Blaze. Nicely done. Now, of course, again, top lane, immediate value attempt. Zeratul, if he pushes this out, what does that mean? He gets experience for his team, and then this entire wave moves into the tower range, and someone has to deal with it. And in this case, it's possible because, well, Nubarak has to go topside anyways, because that immortal is already taken. But if, for example, there's a bit of a battle happening in the middle, then you have no hero up there, and the red team loses out on even more XP. So again, looking at the lanes is quite important. And Zeratul has now moved down to the bottom of the map to make sure that they're not falling behind as the rest of the team is pressuring the top. Talent adjustments on level 4. We have... Ooh, there's the engage and the stun. Nicely done. Great connect with Malfurion. That's exactly the setup that you want to go for. Your main tank starts the stun setup, and Tyrande follows it up, and the damage comes in shortly after. Now, the fort isn't quite falling, but it's taken a lot of damage. But obviously that kill against Malfurion was an important one for sure. Now Nubarak still hasn't made the adjustment on level 7, so he goes for the subterranean shield. Epicenter on 16 can definitely be expected. It's a go-to talent here. I don't know what things to be expected. Ooh! Nice attempt by Sylvanas to get away, but Blakidney is still very, very far out on the map. Tyrell is rotating in to help him out. Okay, a couple of dodges there. He's waiting for the wave again. It's actually starting to put the damage back up. Jumps in, but Sylvanas eventually should fall here. This is a lot of resources they're committed to get that kill, though. So definitely Sylvanas keeping them on their toes, which allows also the bot lane to push a little bit more aggressively. So with the Greymane and Zeratul both moving in, they're taking the wall down. So Sylvanas didn't quite die in vain, but that was a good move from Divine Vendetta. I like that. Born even might fall here, if not for Death Knight and a stun that might have been the end of him. DLB jumps out again. We're having now Sylvanas back to business with 28 stacks currently on the level 1. Going into the wave on level 7 helps you, of course, with that process a little bit more too. But there's the level 10, so now we're talking, and I really want to see if they go for that Void Prison setup straight into the Wailing Arrow. That's something that we have seen in the past. It's old school, but it could definitely work out for them here. Obviously, Sanctification comes in as well. And I guess we're going to see go for the throat. Gives a little bit more mobility to DAB, and given the lineup they play against, that would make sense for them. There's also not that typical super hit point heavy tank at the front line like a Garrosh or a Diablo. So Bullet, you can still get value out of it. And it's not quite as useful. And yes, it is indeed go for the throat. So level 10 abilities on both sides now, and again the quick push against the Immortal. And, well, Greymane is obviously gonna rip this one apart pretty quickly, but on the other side you have a Tyrande with a Hunter's Mark, so it's not too shabby when it comes to damage output too. But the red team still losing that fight by roughly 4,000 hit points, as you can see here. And now it's again about the defensive position that is being taken. In this case, there's actually Divine Vendetta that starts to be aggressive again. They're already starting to move in once more. Same time though, Zeratul, mass value, actually dodges the jet propulsion as well. Greymane with a kill, but Zeratul this time was locked down and falls. Zeratul down, but there comes Greymane again. And he takes down a Junkrat. There's still an attempt by Slay to get a tether connected, but that doesn't happen. In the meantime, the rest of the team is still fighting. Sanctification comes in, saves Sylvanas, who turns around and gets a few additional stacks in now. And they're trying to make the play for Slake. And that could be Greymane with another kill, but he's not able to connect it there. Top lane has now fallen, the fort, and therefore the waves are pushing in aggressively. Sylph is still getting value over here. Greymane will join her soon, and that should be the end of the Immortal, as he starts jumping in and just pawns away against that Immortal. Hasn't even used the Void Prison in the last fight, by the way, so yeah, I didn't even have to there. Massive top lane wave, by the way. If that pushes into... yeah, someone has to deal with it, and Junkrat does that. If that would have pushed into the towers, that would be an insane amount of experience that's lost to Divine Vendetta. So they take this one, but look who's sitting at the side here already. Once again, starting to jump in. Can get the setup there. Be careful. Okay, there's Born at the side, trying to go for Greymane. Stun out, and the kill against Martin. Yep, don't even need the Void Prison for that. They get the kill, they get one, do they get more? Ooh, Sylvanas! Ah, she falls, but still, halftime show is over, and the Immortal has also been claimed. So with that, we're having now Tranquility taken again. That helps Greymane, and Greymane is starting to commit. Slake is going to fall, it's just a matter of time. Slake is going to die, he's down already, rest of the team gets away. 7 kills against 4, level 13 talents now. And as you can tell at the bottom of the map, with the wall gone, and the fort already down to 70% HP, this one is going to be eliminated. And the level 13 talent, of course, with the additional power spike. And Polypos has already been absolutely rocking this game. I mean, his Zeratul died once, but he has played really well here. Sitting at 19,000 damage, Sylvanas at 24k, and we're having Greymane on 14. So yep, they are delivering right now with the lineup. And Sylvanas is coming back into this. Sylvanas is starting to come back into this as a defense against the Immortal right now. Tether, Zadoon with a Sanctification again, and immediately the sign for Greymane to jump in, and they're trying to make the play for Death Knight too. Cocoon saves him for now. Zeratul gets actually eliminated as Slake on his Maiev is starting to get some serious value for the team. Tether attempt. Immortal still doing some damage to the keep itself, but here comes the engage again, and this is still a 5 versus 4. They try to turn it against the Nubarak. Zadoon doesn't have 16 yet. No Void Slash, but gets still massive damage out. Problem is that Sylvanas is dead again. That's the 3rd time that Blakidney falls. He's sitting at 6 stack though. Ooh, nearly value. Not quite. I mean, we had a Tyrael that actually exploded the other day and was able to take 2 heroes out with the explosion. That was pretty nuts. That was roughly a week ago, I think. But now we're having 7 kills against 7. And in experience, at least, Divine Vendetta is back. In experience, they're back to business. And the problem is, of course, that they lost a lot of the position on the map here. Greymane again. I mean, Greymane, DAB, he knows how to play his heroes. And he's currently delivering on Greymane despite the fact that there's a lot of stuns and slows on the other side. He knows exactly when to engage. He knows exactly when to try and get the damage out. How to dodge out on that. Link obviously helping out with the heals and the Nature's Cure there too. But yeah, Greymane with another attempt to get some damage in, and he successfully connects the cocktail with Tyrande there. Nicely done. Now the 16 is going to become a bit of a problem for Divine Vendetta. Obviously, Zeratul will have the Void Slash, and Portibos has been playing out of this Maintenance game already. Again, he maybe overstepped it once or twice, but he did so much work in terms of damage. Got a few kills in too. 15 seconds on the next Immortal. Should give us that setup here too. And yep, there we have the engage straight for the camp. A little bit late to interrupt that, if that was the plan. That's bot lane value, obviously. And time for the defense. They're starting to move in again. The Happy Clouds are on the march as they're looking for the kills for the lineup. Bot lane pressure, top lane pressure, both of them have camps on them. DAB with a push out again, wants to go up against Slake one-on-one if he can. Not even going for the Immortal at this point, but Greymane is eventually going to make that rotation over. Instead, the play for Tyrael. Tyrael, is he going to try here with the sanctification? Yep, goes out, and immediately Anubarak in some trouble. But Sylvanas dies once more. So Sylvanas is down, so is Anubarak. Void Prison in the back, Slake low, and that's the death of Maiev. Maiev died, and Greymane again is going in, ripping the throat out of Tyrande right there. Blaze already in trouble in the backline. He's dead. DAB still trying to go for the kill, and he gets it as well. And that should be the easy peasy keep and game with Greymane. They can maybe make the play. Then again, they don't have Tyrael here. Can they go for the core? They might try. Anubarak is going to be back in 8. What do they have pushing? 2 catapults are coming in with it. And I'm lying. Tyrael is actually there. So if Tyrael actually goes down, that's 5 extra % off the core. He doesn't have the sanctification, which is a problem. But what you have to control right now is Greymane. They have to go for Greymane. Nature's Cure is in. 50% on the core. They're pushing them out once more. Zeratul moves in through. Cocoon has been used against Zeratul as DAB just gets the damage out once, twice. Jet Propulsion misses, but this is game, ladies and gentlemen, as Nothing Left takes a 2-0 lead. Sky Temple, Game 3, Map 3. Nothing Left against Divine Vendetta in Division S, and so far it has been the Nothing Left show. They've been playing pretty well. After the first game, Divine Vendetta tried to ban out the hero pool of DAB a little bit, with focusing Li Ming and Tracer. Didn't quite work out since Greymane started to come in then towards the end, so it was a little bit rough there. Greymane did a lot of work there for sure. But yeah, let's have a look at how Game 3 goes, because this could be the last game of the series actually. Divine Vendetta is struggling here, no doubt about that. It is again the map choice of Nothing Left, since Divine Vendetta opted to take first pick, first ban after they lost the last map. Do they have something prepared for this? I mean, again, it's not their map choice. Illidan immediately banned out. I mean, yeah, don't want to go up against that. Okay. We had the Illidan ban already in the previous game. I mean, with the Arthur's ban coming through from Nothing Left, they definitely signaled that they would like to brawl there a little bit. Now, the hatred of 10,000 Hero League games is not going to make an appearance on Sky Temple either. Nothing Left. What are you going to say ban out from them? I mean, we even had a Kerrigan ban on the Spider Queen. There's a Garrosh ban again. It's not going to happen at the front line. We're just not going to see them. Alright, so, Divine Vendetta, what do you ban out at this point? I mean, right now they are currently looking to Tracer again. I mean, Tracer has been banned out very consistently from them against DAB, and they're not the only ones that really want to make sure that Tracer is not going to be played. So if that holds true in any way, no, Samuro. They're actually going through all the options of like, okay, how can they cancel us right now? Samuro with Abathar, Illidan. I'm honestly wondering if nothing left picks an Abathar here on the map. I guess not. Okay, but Tracer could be played now. So they have Trace as an option. I'm not very sure if we're going to see Vikings or anything. Still waiting for a Viking and Rexa game. 8 versus 5. That's Zeratul and there's Dehaka. Dehaka to put some pressure onto Abathar and force Abathar to play a lot safer here. So they have a global as well. And actually, when we're looking at Dehaka, I want to highlight that again. If you're looking at the value of a global when you're drafting it for yourself, we talked about a lot how you do not play Dehaka when we looked at Division 7 games in the past, which is obviously the lower leagues that we use as a bit of educational material when you oftentimes have bronze to gold players play. But watch Dehaka on the minimap a little bit and how he positions himself around objectives on the map right now. It's going to be super important here. And we're going to talk about this a bit in the game. But you can definitely follow that if Dehaka is one of the heroes that you and your team like to draft, or you yourself play. So we have Jaina and Tyrande, both taken. First of all, with Jaina, obviously, you are in a situation where you have the double Jaina value through the Abathar copy. Still wondering if there's a bit of a weird setup coming out there still. Jaina also taken away from Zeratul, by the way, on top of that. So you don't have to ban her out, you have her herself, gets value through Abathar in the copy. Same time she's not available for Zeratul. Now you can think about banning out Tracer, you can think about banning out Diablo. Ana in this case gets banned, another good hero. Now Linked obviously still has Rhaegar and Malf available for himself, which is pretty solid. In the past, I would say that Divine Vendetta is definitely going to pick Chen here, when Sugar Daddy 69 still was playing with them, but he loved Chen. But as you obviously know, Sugar Daddy, I think he doesn't have the time anymore, he's pretty busy at his job, so once that they made it into Division S, he couldn't commit there as much as they needed to. So I'm not sure if they are still going into something like Chen these days, but he was actually pretty successful at it. There's a bunch of videos out there from games that I record on that. DAB gets finally his Tracer to be played. Okay, so Malfurion is quite likely to be picked by Linked. Gives value with Tracer and with the Nubarak. But what's going to be the last two picks for the Divine Vendetta? What are we going to have a little front line right now? On Sky Temple. And well, Imperius and Arthas. Both of them nasty with Abathar. Really nasty there. And both of them with a lot of stuns, so for Jaina it's pretty much a paradise situation where you have so much CC on the side, but yeah, that's the Malfurion pick as expected. Alright guys, time to go in and have Tracer perform and see how DAB measures up against this lineup here. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 3. We are looking at Divine Vendetta versus Nothing Left on Sky Temple. Game number 3, and potentially the last map of the series, ladies and gentlemen. Podibos on Dehaka for Nothing Left. We're seeing Blakidney on Zeratul again, Zadoon on Anubarak, DAB on Tracer, and Linked on Malfurion. Actually, Blakidney hasn't played Zeratul yet. Last time we saw Podibos in the role. On the right side of the map, Death Knight on Imperius for Divine Vendetta. They need a win right now, or it's going to be the end of the series. Martin on Tyrande. Smaragd on Jaina, Slake on Abathar, and Born on Arthas. So we get our slug game in today. But yeah, Dehaka is going to be super important here. And as you can tell, Dehaka already not using the global here, is just moving straight into the middle. But you will see the positioning of Podibos, and we're going to talk about this in just a bit. So at this point, once again, Tracer is going to be a focus for us, for sure. But heavy push at the top lane just for a moment, but that was already anticipated. And with Abathar and Arthas around, they couldn't push in too hard. Now, if you have an Uberak in your lineup, then you can definitely try and make these plays by simply spawning a couple of beetles and going straight for those towers. But since Abathar is being played by the opponent's team, the attempt here is to push as quickly as you can in the early game. That's already a bit of a commitment here against Link up to the top. Down at the bottom of the map, Zeratul is holding his own. against Tyrande and against Jaina. Nubarak is pushing out the middle, but still has to deal with Abathur too. It's an interesting early game. That's definitely what it's going to be here. Early game will be an interesting one. At the same time now we are having to look towards Tracer and how exactly DAB is able to fare here with her in the game. She was consistently banned out before by Divine Vendetta, and this is the first game where they risked to not ban her out, and DAB immediately jumped onto the opportunity to claim that. Now we have the camps now focused on the side of Nothing Left, immediately as the 1 minute mark comes in. And that's also happening now from the opponent's team. The problem that you oftentimes have with an Abathur in the early game is that you're just missing out on an additional hit point bar in the fight. So you're very heavily dependent on the symbiote and also on the side soak that you can get with Abathur, and that's what we have to focus on a little bit. Now, the camps at the bot lane are both already pushing, but the rotation has then started to home straight away onto the Bruiser camp itself. And we're seeing the same happening from Divine Vendetta too. So both of them are just slowly and steadily starting to move in from camp to camp, whereas the rest of the team is still pushing. Death Knight at this point even pausing the game gives us a bit of a chance to look at the mid lane here quickly. So Slake has started to reposition himself with Abathur in the wall. So he's going to soak with his body here for as much as he can, while at the same time throwing the... I mean, it depends a little bit on what he has to do here, but if someone else needs to move away from a lane, he's going to also symbiote soak somewhere else. Now Death Knight here at the bot lane, he's the one who kind of has to deal with DAB still. And this is not going to be too easy for him. I mean, DAB still chilling. It's actually looking like he's currently AFK. Okay, back to business right now. I'm not sure if DAB actually realized the game was about to be unpaused. Either way, it's not like Death Knight went for it or anything. But yeah, Tracer for a second definitely looking slightly AFK there. But yeah, so Abathur currently with the body soak here in the middle. Now you have to be, of course, a little bit careful when you go up against Zeratul, especially after he has level 7, because thanks to a wormhole, he can go in, drop a bit of damage, and then jump straight out again. Level 4 talents give us now frost armor. Yeah, you go up against the Zeratul, that is a talent that we've oftentimes seen as an adjustment just so that you're a little bit safer there. Because Zeratul is going to try and home interview. So that forces Zeratul mostly to go on to Tyrande. That's the more likely target, it's a little bit easier to dish the damage out there. Abathur hasn't really made a choice yet on level 4. Which is actually interesting, because if they want to go into auto attack damage from any of these heroes, it's going to be the Adrenal Overload. And if not, then usually you see a different focus on the level 1 talent too. But there's the push straight up to the top, and they're actually about to take the first turret. They get the second one as well. Nice damage output. We're having currently still the defense up here towards the top, whereas in the middle it's a little bit of a battle with Boss and Death Knight. Zeratul has taken the bot lane and is pushing this easily out, which allows them to get an additional minion wave and also damage the structures here a little bit. Zeratul then rotates top, and they even get the kill against Death Knight. Nice! Nicely done. Down goes Imperius, and Abathur, 1 hit, gets a 2 hit, and that's the end. That's exactly what I just talked about. Wormhole. Once you have Wormhole, when you know where the slug is, you go in, you get the damage, you drop it quickly, and you take him down. So really good kill here from Nothing Left. Slug abuse in the game, but nicely played for sure. So 2 kills against 0. Slugger currently out. Mule, of course, also committed to by Abathur, which means that you have to take the structures down. If you commit to a fort, to a keep, you have to take down. Here comes the global, by the way. He was at the bot lane, goes in for the fight, and they are taking their kill against Jaina. They drop Tyrande too, and they're trying to get even more. Death Knight jumps out, still some damage against him, but nicely played here for sure by Nothing Left as they get killed. Number 4 and 3. And they're starting to go straight in for the fort itself. And this is exactly one of those moments when you have to kind of decide, okay, how do we play this? Can we take it down completely? Mule obviously also has a cooldown, so they put the pressure onto the top lane too. And you can't split that Mule up that easily. It's still very cooldown heavy. So yeah, top fort already down. And there's a massive lead right now. Early game against Abathur, you can definitely abuse it if you can pushes, enable pushes like this. Once that he has his level 10 ability, team fights are going to look very, very different because of the copy that can come out. And let's not forget that with the copy in particular, we have also the double Jaina value, where you can get massive, massive burst damage out. Beetles still get spawned. Okay, they want the fort, and for good reason at that too, because if they don't go for it right now, And the mule is gonna heal it up. But they're moving out. They're trying to go for Death Knight. And he's dead again. And Blake Kidney dropped the 4. There's the Void Prison setup. They have the level 10. They're massively ahead. Massively ahead. And actually missing the ult of Dehaka. Not the perfect synergy, but Blake Kidney says, you know what? I am going to take this kill anyways. Thank you very much. And that's 6 kills against 0. And that's a 2-level lead, and that means that you can not only steal your opponent's Siege Giant camp away, if you want it, you are also going to get the boss. Carrion Swarm, by the way, on the Beetle. And Uberak went for the Carrion Swarm here. And they're starting to move through the bot lane now. 2 Siege Giants are already there. It's honestly getting nasty in this game. It is honestly nasty. The amount of pressure from nothing left could create a couple of new diamonds. The girl's best friend. 6 kills against 0, 2 levels ahead, and without the heroic abilities, what are you going to do? You're trying to gank a solo laner. Linked is there, trying to help Boss out. Nature's Cure, follow up, and dodge. Can he actually escape? Nah, he can't. But level 10 is so close that they can't even punish them for that, but they're gonna try. They're gonna move in. They're gonna go straight for Martin. There's the Tracer Bomb. Martin nearly down and survives for now. Guess who doesn't survive? It's the Zeratul. The Zeratul is dead, and that might even be a kill against the Nubarak. All of a sudden, Divine Vendetta is back to business. Maybe a little bit too optimistic here by nothing left as they were jumping into this fight. Down to the bottom of the map, still a little bit of value through the triple Siege Giants that are still alive after the fort was taken out. But obviously the structural perspective on the map is still massively ahead for nothing left. I mean, these guys have taken down every single fort already. So from the structural point of view, they are insanely ahead. Now again, look at the move with Dehaka. I talked about the global. He stays top lane. He can now just pressure the lane out. That's extra experience for them. And then if they want to commit to the fight at the bottom, he can always tunnel in and help out there. So they have a choice to make. Do they move in with their heroes and try and get a few of these shots? Yes or no? And in the meantime, Dehaka is just going to push this. Dehaka is just going to push. There's the Void Prison setup. Dehaka going to come in a second. And, well, there we have the attack against Jaina, and that's a kill, and they go for Born 2. Isolations on top, as I said, Dehaka is there. Dehaka is making the plays, they're getting Arthur's. They're gonna see if they can get even a little bit more. The stun connects, 1, 2, the drag comes in as well. Martin is getting attacked on Tyrande. Zeratul is there to help out too, but Abathar, kill for a kill, but Imperius has died too. The Kidney makes the play and actually drops Tyrande, but with the help of Abathar and the tower, Zeratul still falls. And now they're pushing the bot lane. The bot lane. Beetles are already in. There's the damage right there. Gets a few more stuns in, and obviously we're having the bottom temple also committed to by Malfurion himself, and that now allows them to go even for more. Talking about going for more, they're going for Smaragd, and that's another kill. 11 against 4, the kills keep coming, and that looks like another one against Arthas. He pops the army, DAB is just dancing right here. He's having some fun, and that results in Zadoon dying. So DAB with a little dance party here is just abandoning the bug, and well, some say it's not a bug, it's a feature, but in this case, the bug was squashed. Zeratul is currently busying himself on the camps. And the last few remaining shots are going to be taken at the bottom of the map. Dehaka. Boss and his boys definitely memeing this a little bit right now. And I mean, you can't blame them too hard. They're massively ahead at this point. But with Dehaka now taken down, it might buy them a little bit more time. But obviously, some of those shots end now up in the hands of Divine Vendetta. With 11 kills against 6, they're starting to take a little bit of a comeback. Smaragd nearly falls. DAB will move away. And guess what? Zeratul is currently looking to see if he can maybe finish the job as DAB rushes away here. But yeah, with that lineup right now and still nearly a 2-level lead, they are still doing exceptionally well. And you look at the top lane and you see that, ooh, Death Knight was trying to get a connect there. Didn't. Has Wrath as his level 10, so if he gets the delivery linked up against Malfurion, that would be a problem. That's a problem too, by the way. It's a big camp, more than a wave, plus on top of that, a catapult. Someone has to deal with it, and it can't only be Arthur. Someone else has to deal with that. And yeah, Arthas is already starting to make his move up to the top lane. Camps are now taken down at the bottom. They're actually going boss. And boss has been scouted. They're starting to move Arthas back to business, which leaves Abathar alone at the top. So Abathar is still trying to deal with this, but as we said before, it can't really be all. So the boss was used as a bit of a bait to get Arthas back down to the bottom of the map, and now 16 Talons are in. We're gonna try and see if they can force a fight here somewhere. 60 Talons are also gonna give us the Void Slash itself, which is insane. And they're going for the boss. They're willing to fight that fight. Yeah, if they have to, they're gonna go for this. 16 Talons. Actually, the Beetlejuice here even taken. Okay, more beetles, more fun. Zeratul comes in, goes for Jaina. In comes the fight once again. Malf already committing to his ult as well. Martin is low on his Tyrande. That's the Void Prison, zoning the rest of them out. And Martin is gonna fall eventually. That's the end of Tyrande. They're trying to go for more. Oh, but the double kill against the front line. Smaragd is basically dead and, yep, uses the Ice Block for a moment. And here comes the kill. Jaina is down, and Tracer is just running down Arthas. Link is on the run. He survives for a little bit longer, but now we're having Arthas down. Here comes the bomb, and Death Knight is falling. Death Knight is going to die as well. It's a matter of time, but he dies too. And at the bot lane, we have, in the meantime, more and more value out of those Siege Giants. And this is just a matter of, okay, how do we play this right now? There's a double altar, double temple up on the map. Are we going to go for this first? Are we sending someone to the bot lane to deal with this one? Yeah, and they're simply getting the altar value. The temple has now been taken, and that means that this keep is eventually going to fall. The mule is going to try and prevent the worst here, but that's not happening. Owl checking the boss, which is not taken at this point. Instead, we're having Tracer dealing with the top lane. Denying vision now too, on top of that. But that's the first keep of the game, and it's definitely going to fall. The mule is definitely making sure that they're getting another couple of shots in, but yep, at the end of the day, this one is going to be dropped. Zeratul has nearly committed all of the shots now, but the mid lane is heavily attacked. That could actually take down, depending on how many they get here, another keep. And they're falling farther and farther behind it. This game is going to get crazy. Especially since there's no fort down for nothing left. They haven't lost a single fort yet. There's the delivery system against the Haka. They're trying to get the burst damage in, but in comes Tracer. Trying to deliver a kill. Ice block though. Nicely done. Zeratul is in too. Jumps in, jumps out. They're trying to make the play for Smaragd. And Jaina is about to fall. Oh my god, they keep her alive. But not long enough. Zeratul is in and is delivering the pain once more. And there's the Void Prison. There's the kill against Imperius. Blake Kitten is out of his mind right now. Absolutely out of his mind. Goes in to drop Martin, and that's another kill against Tyrande. That's another one against Arthas. 19 kills against 11. These guys are absolutely insane. Dancing around here in the middle. Certainly having a little bit of fun here. A little bit of a dance party. As we're having Blake Kitten committing to the breakdance style here. There's a push straight into the mid lane. Same time now, bottom of the map, there's more Siege Giants taken. They're not even going for the Temple or the remaining shots here. It's honestly insane. I mean, they are playing a fantastic game, and it seems like they're picking up the kills wherever they want and wherever they can. Podibos is now trying to go for another camp there too. And Malfurion is starting to make the rotation straight in to make sure that that keep is finally eliminated. Everybody else is busy on camps. I mean, it's literally everybody else is on camps right now. Malfurion is going to get the final shots in so that the keep falls. And with that, we're going to have 2 keeps down, 2 lanes pushing with max catapult value. That mule is too late. No way! Alright, the mule is not too late as it turns out. So the mule is actually getting full value here. Unless Zeratul is taking care of that. 20 is now in their hands too. It's another big advantage, of course. Top lane is getting pressured by the camp. Bot lane is getting pressured by a double camp. Zeratul is in trouble. Jumps away. Looks like he's going to be fine. Yeah, there's still DAB as he's trying to see if he can maybe drop the slug. He gets locked down though. Moves away. Doesn't have the recall anymore. And they're starting to move down to the bottom of the map. There's another connect. DAB is just taking walls down as the rest of the team is already focusing on the boss itself. Slake sees it. The problem is he can't do anything about it. Loses the other copy already as it is. And that's the boss now taken. And with the, with this one about to fall, with the top lane getting pressured by a double camp pretty much, This is not looking pretty at all. Yeah, there's a commitment ramp again. Abathar is already down, but we're seeing Imperius fall as well. At the bottom of the map, they're still trying to go for another kill against the Dune. As the Bug is moving in, connects one stun, tries to look for the second. The core is already falling, the shields are gone. Top lane is pressuring, the team is in, Martin is low. And they have 21 kills against 12. And the boss obviously is going to finish this one way or another. There's the kill against Jaina. Tyrande is already dead and Arthas is falling as well. And this is game, ladies and gentlemen. A 3-0 victory as nothing left makes a statement in the best of 5 series here in Division S against Divine Vendetta. Great game by Nothing Left. Well played. Keep in the middle. Never fell. GG.